how many interviews, let's say per week or per month, do you remember getting like before ApplyPass and then after ApplyPass?
Before ApplyPass, if it comes down to averages, it was
Hmm.
something like I wouldn't even say it was per week. It was like once a month before ApplyPass. But then after ApplyPass, it sped up exponentially to like having sometimes three interviews per week. So yeah, that was the change. It was
Like
quite drastic.
from once a month to like 12 times a month. That's what that would
E-
be.
Exactly.
Hey, this is Kevin Landucci with ApplyPass. Cool. So thanks for talking to me today. I want to talk to you about your job search and just like your experience and how stuff went for you. So the first thing you had a job search that was a little bit longer than maybe you would have liked. You were telling me how long it lasted, and uh, maybe can you just give a short overview of just like when it started and when it ended, and if there were any maybe key points in the journey during those months?
Yeah, so my job search started in November of 2022.
Mhm.
I was following, unfortunately, off at my company, and it lasted all the way till August of 2023. And, in terms of, I would say the cycle, it was really slow at the beginning because I wasn't really getting a lot of feedback. I was getting lots of rejections.
This last job search of yours was 8 months. You started it in the winter. So was there any part of you, like I've worked with a lot of candidates and over time, they'll have this like attitude about winter, like nothing happens in the winter, no one's hiring in the winter. Did you hear anything like this from other people that were job searching that it's just like the worst time to be looking?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did get that overall, that having to be on the market towards the end of the year could be brutal because, yeah, nobody was, that's actually like when companies close their books. And I
Mhm.
really got that as, I had that as an experience while job searching. So absolutely, yeah, that was the general sentiment.
How long did your last job search take when you graduated from school compared to this one? This one was 8 months. How long was that one?
Um, I It was actually because I didn't really job search. I had a job and then I got a second offer and then I just had. So it didn't really last. It wasn't like a timeline. I wasn't unemployed for like during the job search
You
because I
just
had
went
an
straight
offer.
from school to job to job.
Exactly.
That's perfect. That's so ideal. Did it feel
Yeah.
weird as somebody who had more experience to have a harder time in this job search, this the one that we're talking about?
Yeah, it felt weird because I expected that with more experience and with more, I would say, like with a higher experience, I would expect it to be shorter, but it was
Hmm.
kind of like the inverse. So it was, yeah, absolutely weird to have to stay so long compared to not even being unemployed at all.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that you were telling me before we started filming was that you had to learn lessons about how to represent yourself in front of employers. Like, what was a key takeaway that you had from that lesson of trying to best uh, explain my experience to employers in a short amount of time so they can really see what I do best.
So the lesson I learned was to actually practice and practice multiple times before every interview,
Hmm.
which I didn't have to do at all before having that experience. So that was a big lesson I learned
Would you
going
practice by
into the
yourself
interview.
or like in the mirror, or how would you do it?
Yeah, I would talk to myself in the mirror, talk to the camera, and oftentimes I'll record myself on my phone, like turn on the camera recording on my phone, and then listen to myself afterwards. So those were the key ways I used to.
Were you just doing like tell me about yourself, or what questions would you go through?
Yeah, I starting with tell me about yourself, trying to describe my educational background and historical background and work history in a short amount of time, making sure it was concise and clear. And things like, what would you do in this situation? So basically behavioral type of questions, situational type of questions. So those were the areas I focused on.
Nice, man. That's cool. That is
Yeah,
very
thank you.
cool. I have a I have a I have a I have just a small comment on that, and that people tend to prep for interviews like their essays. They write these stories, and they think that that's the prep, but that's not the prep. The prep is doing what you're going to do in the interview, which is speaking. So I love that you found an accurate way to practice or an effective way to practice. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's try to look at like so you found ApplyPass at some point, and just to the best of your memory, how many interviews, let's say per week or per month, do you remember getting, like before ApplyPass and then after ApplyPass?
Before ApplyPass, if it comes down to averages, it was
Mm-hmm.
something like I wouldn't even say it was per week. It was like once a month before ApplyPass. But then after ApplyPass, it sped up exponentially to like having sometimes three interviews per week. So yeah, that was the change. It was
Like
quite drastic.
from once a month to like 12 times a month. That's what that would be.
Exactly, on
And those,
average.
because you weren't applying to jobs because, well, actually, let me ask you that. Were you somebody were you using ApplyPass to get you interviews and then also doing some stuff on your own to try to get interviews? Or were you just taking what you were getting with interviews and then using that time elsewhere?
Yes, it was the second option. Um,
Okay.
so it helped me free time to just focus on other things like, improving my communication style.
Yeah, but like how was that like for you? Like if you could, like, kind of like that before and after of um this might seem like an obvious question, but in what way did it change your prep?
Well, I would say it helped me focus on areas like I could actually focus on places where I was weak
Mm-hmm.
rather than doing a whole bunch of stuff. So ApplyPass helped me to offload that work of, getting those interviews. So I actually freed up time for me to focus on things like communication, being clear. So it actually helped me to hone in on my talents, hone in on my skill set and improve.
Yeah,
So
and
offloading that work, yeah.
what you're saying, I could go really deep on it instead of like switching tasks all the time and then applying over here and then prepping over there. That's great, man.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess this is the last, maybe a fun question. If you would go back in time, what 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 piece of advice or what gift would you give to yourself at the beginning of this last job search, just to make it easier or more fun?
Well, if I had the opportunity to go back in time, I wish it was sooner than later. Or, like they say, like hindsight is 2020. So, but definitely I'd say I would recommend to anyone to just be open-minded and be confident in themselves and their skill set. And the right opportunities will come to them. Yeah.
All right, couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Cool.